What's up everybody, I'm Adam, you're watching the Model Aviator channel. This week we're reviewing the latest release from Hobby King. This is the Durafly 680mm Rare Bear. Rare Bear is a highly modified Grumman F8F Bearcat that raced at the Reno Air Races for decades. This particular paint scheme is the one that it wore in 2005 when pilot John Penny won the Unlimited Gold Race. The assembly is very simple. It amounts to a couple of screws, pretty much literally. You can scan the QR code on the quick setup guide to gain access to the manual, or you can go online on Hobby King's website and get access to the manual on the sales page for the Rare Bear. As you can see, there's a very low part count with this one. We started at the back. We placed our horizontal in place. The vertical has a rudder servo lead that you need to fish through a hole in the top of the vertical and the fuse. We used a simple wire hook to grab that wire and pull it forward where we could get to it. There are two screws. Use the shorter of those two screws to tighten the vertical and horizontal in place. Next, we installed the one-piece wing. You simply slide the connector for the aileron Y harness through a hole in the fuse. It is tongue and groove at the front. You bring it down flush in the back and use the longer of the two screws to tighten the wing down. Very simple assembly, just a little bit left to do at this point. Once you get your receiver installed and get it bound to your transmitter, get those servos centered, you'll have to install the push rods for the elevator and the rudder. The aileron push rods are pre-installed for you. It comes with some servo covers and some double-sided tape. You can install those if you'd like. That is completely optional. It also comes with some extra decals. You've got a couple of 77s for the side of the airplane if you'd like, and some racer type sponsorship decals that are Hobby King related that you can put on if you'd like. The other thing we highly recommend with any airplane that comes with the propeller and spinner pre-installed, especially a racer that's going to be turning a lot of RPMs, you want to remove that spinner, remove that propeller, make sure the propeller is properly balanced, and then put it back on. That is very important. The Rare Bear has a wingspan of 27 inches. It's 26 inches long. Our example weighs 1 pound, 13.6 ounces, ready to fly with a 4S 2200 pack. It's equipped with an Aerostar Light 60 amp brushless ESC. It has 4 9-gram high-torque metal gear servos and is intended for use with 1800 to 2200 4S packs. The Rare Bear is a park flyer sized and weight airplane. However, the full-scale Rare Bear is a pure speedster, and so is this model, capable of breaking the century mark over 100 miles an hour in straight and level flight. To fly something that fast safely, you need a sanctioned flying field or some really large area where you're certain that people and property are not in harm's way. Hobby King sells this as a plug and fly. That means all of the electronics are pre-installed for you except for a receiver. So they cover the motor, the ESC, and the servos. You choose your radio protocol and install your receiver of choice yourself, given the speed of it and how quickly it gets way out there. A full range receiver is highly recommended. Out of the box, it is a 4-channel airplane. You have elevator, rudder, ailerons, and throttle control. If you're using some sort of stabilizer and it's not self-contained within the receiver like Spectrum, you may need a 5th channel to negotiate the modes on something like that. You can get the Rare Bear in 2 different paint schemes, gold trim and green trim, and they are built for speed. You've got high torque metal gear servos and an airframe that is composite reinforced throughout to be very stiff and very strong. The combination of those two means you can put whatever flight forces you'd like on your Rare Bear, even at speed, and it should be able to take it all day long. The only thing that doesn't scream speedster to most people is when you see foam hinges, and this one does have foam hinges. However, airplane weight has a lot to do with how much stress you're putting on hinges, and this airplane's less than 2 pounds. I've got a lot of experience with lighter, really fast foam airplanes with foam hinges, and in my experience, if you keep the throw realistic and you're not trying to get like 3D throw out of hinges that aren't intended for that, and you're not banging your control surfaces into anything, The foam hinges typically do fine, even on a Speedster. Time will tell, but for what it's worth, The test airplanes that Hobby King put a bunch of flights on are still doing just fine with the foam hinges. This is intended to be a hand-launched belly lander, and they have accounted for that. The lower portion of the cowling, as well as the majority of the fuselage, is a plastic skid plate, and the only reason mine has scratches on it is I ran it off the grass and onto the paved runway on a single landing, and that will scratch up pretty much anything, but there's a lot of protection there just the same. It is a convenient top loader with plenty of room for your receiver and the largest battery packs recommended in the range. It is a pretty simple airplane that can go even faster if you wanted to. So, bone stock with the recommended 4S packs, over 100 miles an hour in straight and level flight. And if you put it in a shallow dive, this is what Stuart got on his GPS, 115 miles an hour. That is properly quick. But if that's not quick enough, Hobby King offers a 6S prop for this. You remove the spinner, remove the dummy radial, just a couple screws to remove that. That allows for extra cooling through the airplane around the spinner. Put the 6S prop and spinner back on the airplane. The motor and ESC are rated for that. Use around an 1100 milliamp 6S pack. You got 130 mile an hour rear bear. And that is not just proper quick, that's stupid quick. And finally, the last little thing, those of you that were paying attention when we showed you the picture of the parts count, you may have noticed an envelope. That is a punch-out wooden display model of Rare Bear itself that you can piece together. That's a nice touch. When it comes to setup, Rare Bear comes with a quick setup guide. You have control throw and CG information there. If you need more details on the setup, you can go to hobbyking.com on the Rare Bear sales page and download a full online manual there, or you can scan the QR code on the quick setup guide and access the online manual that way. We fly Spectrum, so we installed an AR630 Plus receiver. This is our receiver position. We are utilizing AS3X Plus, and I did activate Safe specifically so I could program hand launch assist for this one. Our full setup page is coming next, where you will show you everything, our control throws, expo, our balance, everything about our AS3X Plus and hand launch assist settings will be there, so you can pause that, check that out. If you fly Spectrum, set yours up the same way that we did. Then after that, we will get to the flying demo. We flew it on the SMC HCL 4S 2200 ADC packs. Enjoy the flying after the setup page. We'll meet you back here. We'll give you our final thoughts on this quick little warbird. That was not my best hand launch. Thankfully, hand launch assist helped me out there. It's very stable when you get it slow, very wide speed envelope. Didn't really display any bad habits, even getting the nose up and getting her slow. When you press the throttle forward, it lets you know. The sound is absolutely wicked, and it accelerates like an F1 car. Like any good warbird, whether it's a racer or not, sport and scale aerobatics are a breeze. It flies inverted just fine. Doesn't take too much down elevator pressure to maintain it, but it definitely takes some. Here we're going to back off completely out of the power. There's a little brake. Just wiggles the wings when it stalls. If you immediately neutralize the controls, it will immediately recover. Yep, that's a pop top, and with a Bearcat no less. That is a first for me. The sound the Rare Bear makes at full throttle screaming by you, that is the sound I expect a Speedster to make. It's really cool. And with our level of aileron throw, it will roll like a drill bit. I'm still amazed I can pop top a Bearcat. The airframe seems to be able to take whatever you can throw at it. We forgot to do a knife edge, so we just threw this in. It'll do that as long as you want to do it, or as long as you can still see it. Rare Bear is a lot of fun to fly. We really had a great time with this one. Speedsters, as a general rule, are very precise airplanes to fly. They have to be stiff to handle the speed and the G's that you can put on them at speed. And this one is definitely that. Very stable, very precise, very predictable. It's very stable slow. Slows down very well. Hugely large speed envelope. It has a relatively docile stall, but when you press the throttle forward, it's not exactly large, and it is extremely fast. This one gets out there in a big hurry, and that brings me to skill level involved. Now, one thing I will say, our setup is a more advanced pilot's setup. We have more elevator throw and more aileron throw than is recommended in the manual, even on the high rate, because we want it to roll like a drill bit, and we want to be able to do pop tops and tumbles and things like that, and it will absolutely do all that. But for somebody that wants to do sport and scale aerobatics and just fly it around as a warbird racer that it is, you don't need that much throw. A lot less elevator, a lot less aileron, make the airplane a little less sensitive and a little easier to fly and keep up with. Clearly, it isn't a trainer. I don't even know if it would be the perfect second airplane for somebody that is pretty versed with a trainer. I think possibly having some kind of hand launching experience and definitely having some experience with an airplane that's a bit more responsive than your trainer would be a good idea, and maybe make this your third airplane. Making this your first speedster, just remember the throttle's not an on-off switch. What gets people off with small speedsters like this is if you're in the throttle for more than 2 or 3 seconds, that thing is so far out there that it becomes hard to stay oriented with, especially for people that aren't used to it. So it is the timing of your pattern and having to be prepared to turn sooner than you're used to that you need to get used to. So work your way up to really screaming with this thing slowly, and you will be fine. Obviously, people that are already experienced, you're going to have a ball with this thing. It has that sound that screaming speedsters need to be just completely badass. It's very aerobatic. It looks good. It's a historical airplane, one of the most famous Reno air racers ever, a world champion air racer. You get 2 different paint scheme options, and there's a 6L prop available, so if you want it to go even faster than it already is, which again is incredibly fast, you can absolutely do that if you would like. Now, when it comes to the price point, Hobby King doesn't have that set just yet. This airplane, we're trying to build a little hype about it before they release it. It is due somewhere around the end of this month. That would be April 2025. Maybe a little before then, maybe a little after, but it will be available soon. Keep checking hobbyking.com out. Check their website out. Subscribe to their YouTube channel, and you will know when this thing is available. When it is available, we'll put some links in our description that can take you right to it if you'd like to buy it through our link. We'd appreciate it if you do. Let's Hobby King know that you like what we're doing, and when you do that, Heidi and I appreciate it. Thank you. That is it for us. Fantastic little speedster here. I like Rare Bear, and I think if you want to add one to your hangar, you will too. Take care of yourselves. Happy flying. We'll see you next week with something cool with wings.